Why are you looking into AI? Are you FOMO driven? Are you hype driven? Did your stakeholder tell you like we should have an experiment in AI? And I hear this a lot. These are like things that happen in practice. Do you have a problem that needs solving?
Fractional is the show for the best consultants in AI, design, software engineering, and product. Learn from the mental models of top fractional makers and founders. In this episode of Fractional, we talk to Tim Santos. Tim is the Director of Product for AI Cloud Solutions at Graphcore, where he leads the product strategy and vision for enabling developers, plus AI and ML software organizations to build and deploy cutting-edge AI models in production. Tim also leads the AI Hive on Swarm. With over 13 years in experience in data science, AI, and MLOps, Tim has a strong background and passion for delivering impactful and scalable AI products and services that solve real-world problems and create value for customers and stakeholders. In this episode of Fractional, we talk about understanding your business problem before building AI solutions, turning to the open source community for help, and building teams in the lens of the data science triangle. This is your host, Alexis Collado from Swarm. Enjoy the episode. Tim, welcome to the Fractional podcast.
Thanks, Alexis. Thanks for having me.
Can you please introduce yourself to everyone listening in?
I'm Tim. I'm Director of Product from Graphcore. I look after AI Cloud Solutions. So what I do is, we have a tech ecosystem for AI, and I help out our community, our customers to build solutions, build their startups on our ecosystem. And I'm currently the Hive leader of the AI Hive in Swarm, the AI community. And I've been in the AI space, machine learning, data science, in like 13 years.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool, yeah.
It was cool.
Just, usually like bunch of nerds, you and your mates who know about it. But now it's really exciting times because everybody talks about it. So there's a momentum in terms of being able to solve problems with AI.
Okay, so let's jump right in. So the first question for you, Tim, you're the Hive leader for AI. Let's assume you're talking to a founder and they want to integrate AI into their startup, or even if you're a corporate innovator, right? Like you have an existing business, like what considerations should you have to use AI?
Yeah, interesting question. So I think first, you should be asking yourself, why are you looking into AI, right? Are you FOMO driven? Are you hype driven? Did your stakeholder tell you like we should have an experiment in AI? And I hear this a lot. These are like things that happen in practice. Do you have a problem that needs solving, or do you have a particular expertise? You really need to build or want to build something in the AI space. If you're in the more deep tech researching, space. Once you've asked yourself those, you have a particular answer to it, then, you could move on to the next steps. Right?
So what are the next steps?
And I think we could focus on, let's say you have identified a problem, and you have been aware, let's say that, there's this kind of pain point. There's an AI solution, or this is a typical problem that AI can solve.
Okay,
right?
but at Swarm, we value being problem-centric.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And how does a founder or a corporate innovator start with that? Like, how do you start with the problem?
Yeah. Okay. So you are aware of AI you're trying to, as a startup, right? Like you're trying to solve a particular problem. That's why you got into this whole, space. What I've seen as one way to sort of find potential use cases for AI is, you map out maybe your business processes, you find inefficiencies here and there. Just like any other technology, you could be using this technology to either optimize your cost, optimize or solve inefficiencies or create value. Usually when I talk to builders, CTOs or corporates, so I'd walk through like some of their business processes, and then find pain points or problems to be solved from there. And then once you've identified a problem, then you can start ideating what are the potential solutions.
But why would you want to take this approach versus just, following the hype, right? Like chatbots or like using a GPT, and like most people will go that direction, right?
Yeah.
You're going to follow the hype.
Yeah.
What's the trade-off?
You cannot blame people because that's the exciting tech that comes out in the media. That's what everybody's talking about, and it's really cool. Like, but as a business, as you're trying to provide value through a solution, for a technology or an AI solution, then as you said, like Swarm is product focused. We have the saying in the product space wherein fall in love with a problem. Because that becomes your anchor, and then you could find the appropriate AI solution to sort of solve that. One of the benefits of like the recent advances in AI is that these large language models, foundational models, they're considered as a Swiss Army knife of machine learning tool, right? That it can solve a variety of problems. Actually, it's much easier to sort of start developing or finding the right tools when you have that clear target, your clear goal. Because otherwise, and I've seen this a few times, wherein an executive would say like, "Let's come up with an AI experiment. Where do I go from here?" Like, what's that? What's that? Like, so I think that's a good kicker. I think that pushes people to start. Okay, we've got buy-in from up top. Let's find a problem. Then we start searching for potential solutions. Sometimes, you could find incremental value from places that you don't usually expect. So, like, I've seen some of the interesting, or at least AI solutions that have been deployed to like millions of customers, being like something simple like data quality, right? Like it's not as sexy as
It's like a spell checker,
glorified spell checker or something like that. But especially if you're starting to build success stories to get ROI from the time and investment of building AI, those small wins go a long way. You derive value from this tiny thing, and then that becomes your
it's like your momentum builder.
Your brownie points to the next. Yeah, exactly. to get into more exciting stuff. Because it takes there's some level of complexity in building AI. So the quicker you get value, or the quicker or smaller the experiments are, the more iterations you could get, and the faster you get to building cool and interesting stuff.
Summary: you want to map out your business first. What's the current process? Where are the pain points? And after taking a look, you want to identify how can AI step in and either reduce costs or streamline efficiencies or create value and drive revenue.
If you know the answer and you have the AI capability, that's great. But if you're new in the space, then you have a problem, and then you approach, do research, there's a website called, there's an AI for that, because that's people start there, or ask the community. A lot of AI builders in the space has been empowered and like put in the spotlight, and are willing to share the stuff that they've been building for a few years, right? So use those resources. The open source community, particularly in AI, is very there's a lot of movement and collaboration and contribution in AI's open source space. Define your problem, fall in love with your problem, then start looking for help, doing research, and then you can start, building.
You've done this for a while for a lot of different companies and different verticals as well, and you're obviously stressing the value of seeking help from community, right? Can you tell me more about that? Like, why should founders or corporate innovators talk to community leaders like you?
It's a very nascent space. A lot of changes happening, a lot of new things being developed, innovation. I would think that there's also a lot of noise that comes in because of that. So AI is a complex technology on its own. Your business, your problem space is also complex on its own. So being able to map out the problem with the solution space, and those who have had that experience could point out, especially deploying into the different domains and verticals, they could point out that, well, actually in your space, this AI component could solve that.
What's an example?
As an example, if we are in the healthcare space, right? Let's say diagnostics, right? Like X-ray, computer vision that detects a particular disease. That could be one. But there are other components in the healthcare space, like NLP for patient care. So if someone's describing the ailments and all that, that's a generative AI use case. You have that could fall into like the chatbot kind of solution. But there are other parts of that space as well, like a doctor's prescription. You have an OCR solution that can sort of make it easier for people to read the doctor's prescriptions, right? So if you're just gonna stay in the sort of this hype space, then you wouldn't have identified other parts of the potential value that AI can bring in. So,
and that's where strategists
that's where the strategists come in, or advisors that can sort of translate the business problem to the solution space, the AI solution space as well. Would be patient enough to go through finding out the path to success in adopting a particular technology.
So let's say you've got the use cases down, you have a strategy, you have a general direction on where you want to go. Can you talk to me about just building teams? Like, how complex is that? Like, how hard is it as a problem?
This data science triangle that people in the data science space use a lot, wherein to deliver data-driven data science and AI solution is to have the domain expertise, domain subject matter expertise.
The healthcare expertise,
in this example,
okay.
Your healthcare practitioner, the ins and outs. I was in finance, so if you're a tax person, they can tell you that, well, actually, this is what tax problems are, how we do it, how the process works. You need the other pillar to that sort of triangle is the algorithmic knowledge,
the math person.
Mathematics, being able to make sense of codify the problems into to algorithms, and the software to complete that sort of triangle is a software person. So the maths with the software allows you to put something into a production, let's say, or make it at least production ready, rather than just an experiment.
I guess this is where like hiring consultancy teams come in, because like it's ready made. Like you have a software guy, a machine learning or maths person, and I guess a founder or a client would serve as the main expert.
The challenge is that it's three different skills. Ideally, if there's one person that can do all three of them, you're the main expert that can code and knows AI, machine learning, and science, right?
The algorithms.
Yeah. So those are very sought after resources, and they will be expensive, right? But at the same time, I think they would still have 24 hours in a day or 8 hours in a work day. So there will still be limit to what they can do. And then it's that's why this data science triangle is like one of the building blocks when it comes to either building your capability or building an AI product or a data science project.
That's an awesome mental model to have, like the data science triangle. One last thing I want to ask you as we end this conversation: what's your general advice to all the founders and corporate innovators who want to get into AI?
It's exciting times, so it could get overwhelming. But the space is very very nascent. So a lot of things are changing. A lot of like the LLM leaderboards in the last 6 months, one after another, every couple of weeks there's a new thing that comes along, but there's also value to be there's a reason for that excitement and hype, right? So there's value to be made. Fall in love with a problem, start with that, and then there's a lot, like too many solutions that are available out there sometimes. And and complex systems require more than the collaboration from multiple skilled individuals, right? So don't be afraid to use the resources of the community, the open source, tooling, models, and all that. Experimenting, then you can start experimenting and find and derive value from AI. I think that's more or less my advice.
Awesome. So that's Tim, our AI Hive leader at Swarm. Thanks for coming on to Fractional.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex.